Matt Hall and Grant Flanders inside Hilton Coliseum, where K-State gets a thrilling win, shocking the crowd too.
Absolutely
inside
did.
Hilton Coliseum, 58-57 over the Cyclones. Take me through this crazy win.
It absolutely was. You know, you and I are sitting down by the basket where Barry Brown makes the finish to win the game. K-State plays pretty darn well for probably the first 32, 35 minutes of this game, is in control almost throughout. Iowa State, as you kind of expect to happen at some point, does get hot from the three-point line. They put up a lot of threes tonight like they always do. They put K-State down 7 at that point. To me, you know, it feels, I don't know if over is the right word, but pretty close. All the momentum on their side. This crowd was pretty wild today here in Ames, despite the weather they're dealing with here in Iowa. But Barry Brown, it felt like the Kentucky finish. You know, he got to the basket. You knew it was going to go to him. He got a great look at it, finished it. Iowa State gets a terrible possession to go back the other way. But K-State, we'll talk about it more about this video, I'm sure, but talk about a team that doesn't give up, and people talk about losing this team. We told you, I'll say it, Bruce Weber never lost this team. He clearly hasn't. And K-State's in good shape now, 2 straight wins in the Big 12.
Yeah, Coach Bruce Weber extremely excited about this win and Barry Brown's play.
Barry made some big plays, the winning bucket, but another play right before that made a difference. So it's a good win. I don't know which one's better. I just told them, I put on the board, be the team of the week in the Big 12. And that meant you have to win. And if that happened, obviously Barry's got to be the player of the week in the Big 12. 2 game winners.
So, as Coach Weber said, a really big win for the Wildcats. Talk a little bit more about how big Barry Brown was in this.
He was huge. I'll be totally honest. There was a time in the game where I thought he was going too much ISO, too much hero ball, even though it was working. And I kind of would look at the stats and say, well, his numbers aren't as bad as I feel like. But he got really hot late, of course, and made a number of big shots for K-State. And just, the confidence he has. This K-State team struggled to make shots in the second half today. They played a nice offensive half of basketball in the first half, struggled in the second half. Going to Barry was probably the right answer. Clutch is such an overused term in sports, but he really is. This is back-to-back game winners. He's got to be Big 12 Player of the Week, as Bruce Weber said, and I think in the quote you probably just played. He was fantastic today, and he's been K-State's best player. Some other guys played well too, but Barry Brown easily the player of the game for K-State.
Dean Wade did get back in action, but there's other guys to talk about too before we get to him. Talk about a guy like Cam Stokes and Xavier Sneed and the effect they had on the game.
Both the guys. I mean, we could talk. Let's talk Xavier Sneed first, because I think as Bruce Weber said in postgame, I'm going to look at my paper. I'm going to look at papers. But Mariel Shayok today had 9 points, and that's what I thought it was. I could have just gone with it. But I think Bruce said he hadn't had less than 14 all year. So Xavier Sneed, as much as he did on both ends and made some plays here and there, that was where he made the difference. We wondered who they put on Shaq because of his length. And in person, he is a bigger man than I was ready for.
I agree.
So they made a great choice there. Cam Stokes didn't shoot it particularly well, but I looked at the stats. 4 assists, only 1 turnover. The turnover should not have been on him either. It was a play down right in front of you where Dean Wade fell down on a slip where Cam had thrown it to him. That terrifying. I don't know if you saw the fire behind me, but I felt it again. Okay, 12 points for Cam Stokes again. 4 assists, only 1 turnover. It should have been his. I thought he hit some timely shots today. Cartier Jada.
Yeah, talk about him.
We got to talk about him. We got benched. Bruce Weber flat out said it today after the game against West Virginia for his lack of effort. Thought Cardi played much harder today. Hit 2 open threes in the first. I'm used to the fire behind him now.
It feels good.
Hit 2 open threes in the first half. I thought were really, really big. It is a lot of effort. Another guy who played really, really well. So I don't know if we've caught all of them yet. We'll talk about Dean, I'm sure. But a number of guys, not just Barry Brown, contributed to this win in Hilton Coliseum.
Yeah, let's first listen to what Dean had to say about his performance, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
It feels good. I didn't do a whole lot offensively, but I think defensive. I was just trying to be loud, talk, communicate, keep everyone positive, and even when they made their runs, I was just trying to stay positive for the whole thing, and just help them any way I could. I knew I was going to be a little rusty offensively, but I always can bring energy to the game no matter what happens. So that was my main focus. And I'm happy that fortunately I didn't miss too many games, and I can be back and fighting with the team again.
So, Dean didn't have a great game scoring the ball, but I think he did a lot of things well elsewhere.
I think so, too. He rebounded well. I think he was K-State's leading rebounder today. He was pretty good on the defensive end. There was 1 or 2 times early, I thought, where he got blown by a little bit, but he got his legs underneath and played better. He was tired. I mean, we were fortunate to sit very close to the K-State bench today. Every time he came out, he was sucking wind. He was very tired. He struggled offensively. But to get him back and let him play through a game like this on the road in this environment, to have him make a shot late, that was big. So he didn't go scoreless throughout.
Right.
And to get the win is just an ideal scenario. Yes, we'd love to see him take more open threes, and he needs to. I saw Cam Stokes tell him after a made basket down here in Iowa State, said, look at him and say, shoot the ball. So they are going to want him to shoot more. He'll need to shoot more. That's who they need him to be. But to get him back, to get his legs underneath him and get this win without him playing particularly well is big for K-State.
9 rebounds in 22 minutes. Very impressive from him. Let's talk about now going forward. K-State now sitting at 2-2 in the Big 12. So is Iowa State. honestly, things kind of turning around for K-State heading into Oklahoma.
Well said. I think the first line of my post-game story was what a difference a week makes. You go back a week, Iowa State's 2-0 in the league. They hammer Kansas in this building. K-State's 0-2, including a 20-point loss to Texas. These are two teams going in completely different directions, right? Iowa State and K-State. 1 week later, they're tied in the Big 12. K-State just won in their building. The Wildcats win 2 in a row. All of a sudden, feel like they're probably in the back of the thick of things. There's a lot left to fix. K-State still only scored 58 points today. They still struggle offensively. Like we said against West Virginia, sometimes wins and losses do overrate people's reactions to a team. They're not that different of a team, but they're making timely shots. They never gave up at any point. Even when they were losing, they hadn't given up. And now you got a chance to go to Oklahoma, a similar team to Iowa State, probably not as tough in an environment. Going to be hard to win, but another great opportunity before you come back home to play TCU next Saturday.
Man, the Big 12's fun again this year.
It is. It's fun again. It was almost not fun, but it's fun now.
Well, yeah, now K-State is in the thick of things, if you ask me. So, for Matt Hall, I'm Grant Flanders. You'll see us next time, probably in Oklahoma or something. What do we do?
Tell your friends that there was fire behind me. I swear you just couldn't see it.
He's not lying.